Hello, I'm Mikey Campling, and I think this is about my 5th attempt at this recording. But anyway, I'm making it today in response to some questions raised by Brian and Jim on the Sell More Books Show podcast, and I'll put a link to that underneath the video here on YouTube and on my website at mikeycampling.com. And they were asking a couple of questions, and one is about the show itself, the Sell More Books Show podcast. And it's very simple, really. My advice there: if you are in any way involved in being an indie writer or interested in self-publishing in any regard, or whether you're feeling like a non-fiction entrepreneur or a fiction guru, check the show out. Go back and listen to some of the older episodes as well, because there's lots of good stuff there. And the thing that makes it different is the sheer wealth of material, because they know what is what. They know what works in terms of marketing and publishing. They are doing a lot of the hard work for you. So listen to those shows. I started off making the mistake of thinking I'll put it on in the background, and realised that I had to keep stopping what I was doing, going back and rewinding the podcast to catch some important snippet of information. It's that good. But you will need, be warned, a pad and a pen next to you, because during each episode, guaranteed, you are going to find 2 or 3 things which you are going to want to write down straight away. And do write them down and then go and do them, because there's no point writing these things down and dreaming up fancy ideas if you don't actually go and put them into action. So get your pad there and make a list, and just put 2 or 3 things which you're going to tackle from the show and go and check them out, do them. And that puts me straight on to the second point, which is, if you're not going to do those things today, then you need to either stay up late and do them, or get up early the next day and do them. Because the next question they asked was, how bad do you want it? Which kind of makes me laugh in a sort of hysterical way, as in, you know, look, how bad do you want it? Jim Cockrell says, well, look into my eyes, Jim. Yeah, so it's a kind of hysterical laugh, because if you imagine in any way that writing and making it as a writer is going to be easy, no matter how wonderfully gifted you are, then think again. Because life just doesn't work like that, does it? It doesn't for me anyway. I don't think it does for most of us, unless you've been born very rich in some ways. You are going to have to put in an awful lot of work. I mean, I stay up late. I work till maybe, at the moment I'm working till about 10 o'clock at night, which I really shouldn't do. And I get up early in the mornings. I also have a part-time paid job which I have to go to, but whenever I'm not doing that, I am hitting the keyboards in some fashion, or reading through things. I get up early every weekend morning, Saturday and Sunday. The rest of the family all asleep in bed. I'm up there, get up, feed the dog, grab my cup of tea, and sit at the keyboard and start pounding the keys. I mean, I have RSI in my fingers. I've got an ergonomic keyboard. I've got an ergonomic mouse. I have a trackball down here I use as well. But that's how much time I spend pounding the keys, either writing or rewriting, which actually takes longer, because you have to be so much more pernickety with that if you want any kind of reasonable book at the end of it. It's that level of commitment. It doesn't matter. People fixate on tiny little things like word count, or a ridiculous thing about whether you've got a Mac or a PC, whether you're using Scrivener or Word. I mean, it doesn't matter, actually. I don't think Shakespeare used Scrivener. You know, I don't think The Catcher in the Rye was written on a Mac. What matters is the commitment to finish it, to start it and finish it. It's obsession with little things. It's a bit like, I heard a story once about a guy who was wanted to be a drummer, but the only piece of equipment he could afford was the stool, so he bought the stool. You know, it's pointless. You need to focus on telling a good story first and foremost, but after that, that's really when the work starts, because writing is a craft, and like all good crafts, it is the result. Any competence in it is a result of long hours of practicing. Yes, there are people making a living out of the equivalent of IKEA flat pack furniture, and there's nothing wrong with IKEA flat pack furniture. Lots of people buy it. It's a very successful brand. That might work for you. But even then, their designs have been carefully considered. And I guess the guys who the craft isn't perhaps in making them, but the craft is in designing them and making them appealing and making them functional and useful and attractive. So perhaps it wasn't a very good analogy. So some writer I am. But I was thinking more compared to if you want to produce something nice, you know, like a piece of furniture, then any good carpenter spends an awful lot of time sanding things down. That's what I remember from woodwork class: sanding down, varnish it, sand it down over and over again. It's a bit like that with writing. You know, yes, you get the first shape finished, you get the first object finished, but then you have to go back and work and work and work. And if you think marketing is a dirty word or not for you in some way, and you don't like reaching out to people and sharing your work and sharing your process and sharing your thoughts on that, then again, that's fine. Maybe you're a hobbyist, and maybe that's fine. I don't say that in a pejorative way at all. Nothing wrong with that. I think millions of people have hobbies. As a hobby painter or hobby writer, it doesn't really matter. That any kind of hobby level activity is fantastic. You know, maybe that's what you like to do in your spare time. Just don't expect the world to beat a path to your door for your hobby bit of writing. They might, you might get lucky somehow, but I think it's unlikely. So learning more about marketing in a way, to my mind anyway, and as far as writing is concerned, is simply about communicating. It's about meeting people and communicating. And before we had the internet, I guess that meant face to face. It meant going out, you know, and meeting people in the coffee shop. Now it means getting a whole other bunch of skills so that you know how to do things like manage your website, manage your mailing list, build relationships with people. There are so many authors out there getting this wrong. I started wrong, but I think I learned quite quickly. I think I started off being a horrible spammy person, like most of us maybe do. And I learned quite quickly that don't squander those opportunities. Okay, so you're going to have to make the most of those opportunities, and you are really, really going to have to want it. And it is mainly about time and commitment and consistency, because it's no good having a flash of brilliance. It's no good working really, really hard for 3 days. You have to be there all the time, really. And yes, you need to have breaks. You need time for your family. You need time to relax a bit. Apparently, I don't know when that happens. I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking of saving up my spare time and maybe, you know, staring into space for 30 seconds. I don't know. But no, I do get little breaks. You need to get breaks. You need to get fresh air. You need to have exercise. Dogs are good for this. I recommend Labradors. There you are. That's my writer's tip: by a Labrador. And I think I've probably run out of things to say, so I will leave it there. So thank you very much, Brian and Jim. And I will post up this video as soon as possible. If you want to know any more about my ramblings, I do story readings and so on, visit mikeycampling.com. And if you'd like a couple of really fantastic free 5-star books, visit mikeycampling.com/giveaway, all one word, and I'll mail them to you. And you get all sorts of other free things, like free audio stories and so on as well. So thanks for watching and listening. Goodbye.